Imagine you learn an obscure new word or notice a rare vintage car for the very first time, perhaps a 1984 bright yellow Volvo station wagon. You could swear you have never seen that exact vehicle anywhere in your entire life. Yet over the next 48 hours, the impossible seems to happen. You spot one parked right down your street, a coworker brings it up casually during lunch, and one drives past you in the background of a movie you happened to stream that night. Is the universe glitching? Did the simulation suddenly reload its assets? Or have you tapped into a bizarre, hidden quirk of human consciousness? This eerie sensation happens to millions of people every single day, and it carries a remarkably strange name, the Baader-Meinhof Phenomenon. But what is truly happening inside your brain when the physical world around you suddenly seems to repeat itself? Let us dive into the strange history, the neurological mechanics, and the evolutionary secret behind why reality feels like an echo chamber. To understand why your brain plays this peculiar trick on you, we have to travel back to the mid-1990s in St. Paul, Minnesota. In October of 1994, a local resident named Terry Mullen submitted a lighthearted letter to the daily newspaper, the St. Paul Pioneer Press. In his letter, Mullen detailed a bizarre coincidence that had been bothering him. He had been having a casual conversation with a friend about an infamous West German militant organization from the 1970s known as the Baader-Meinhof Group, formerly designated as the Red Army faction and led by Andreas Baader and Ulrike Meinhof. Prior to that conversation, Mullen had virtually no exposure to this violent historical faction. Yet, astonishingly, just 24 hours later, Mullen opened up the next morning's newspaper only to find a prominent news article referencing the Baader-Meinhof Group. The odds felt astronomical. When Mullen's letter was published in the paper's popular bulletin board column, something incredible happened. Dozens of readers wrote in, each sharing nearly identical experiences. They had learned a totally obscure fact, name, or concept, only to encounter it repeatedly across the following days. Readers quickly began referring to this uncanny experience as the Baader-Meinhof Phenomenon, and the name spread rapidly across early internet message boards and cultural forums. For over a decade, this remained a quirky piece of cultural folklore. But in 2005, a distinguished professor of linguistics at Stanford University named Arnold Zwicky decided to investigate the phenomenon with serious scientific rigor. Professor Zwicky recognized that Terry Mullen's experience was neither a supernatural synchronicity nor a mathematical impossibility. Instead, it was a profound psychological mechanism hardwired into human evolution. Zwicky formally christened the occurrence the frequency illusion. Zwicky broke down the illusion into a two-part cognitive cascade that unfolds entirely beneath our conscious awareness. The first stage is selective attention. Human sensory organs take in approximately 11 million bits of raw data every single second, but our conscious mind can only process roughly 50 to 60 bits per second. To keep us from collapsing under sensory overload, our brain acts as an ultra-aggressive filter, discarding 99.9% of the data around us. When you encounter a piece of novel information that sparks your curiosity, whether it is a German militant group, a specific sneaker model, or an unusual phrase, your brain flags that concept as newly meaningful. Subconsciously, your reticular activating system, a dense network of neurons located at the base of the brainstem, recalibrates its internal search engine. Without you ever consciously deciding to do so, your brain begins actively scanning every corner of your visual and auditory environment for that exact pattern. The second stage of Zwicky's framework is confirmation bias. Once your brain's internal radar locks onto this newly highlighted object, every subsequent sighting triggers a burst of cognitive excitement. Your mind treats each encounter as thrilling evidence that the universe has suddenly flooded your life with this specific item. Crucially, your brain completely ignores the hundreds of thousands of other items you saw that did not match the pattern. Nor does it register the thousands of days before when the object was already around you, completely unnoticed. You did not enter a universe where yellow Volvos multiplied overnight, you simply entered a mental state where you finally allowed yourself to see them. Neuroscientists and cognitive psychologists have spent years digging deeper into why the human mind evolved this hyperactive filter in the first place. In evolutionary terms, rapid pattern detection was a critical life-or-death survival adaptation. If an early hunter-gatherer learned that a particular striped predator was active in the tall grass or that a specific plant caused illness, their survival depended on spotting that exact pattern instantly on future occasions. Missing a subtle cue meant immediate danger, while over-noticing an innocent coincidence carried virtually no negative consequence. Our brains evolved to be hypersensitive pattern-matching machines that lean heavily toward false alarms rather than missed threats. This powerful neurological mechanism also explains several other well-documented psychological conditions. Consider medical student syndrome, where first and second-year medical trainees suddenly believe they have contracted every rare infectious disease or neurological disorder they study in their pathology textbooks. The moment a complex set of clinical symptoms enters their conscious awareness, their selective attention fixates on ordinary bodily sensations they had previously ignored for years. Modern technology has added an even more fascinating, and sometimes unsettling, twist to the Baader-Meinhof phenomenon. In our modern era of algorithmic surveillance and predictive data modeling, the frequency illusion is frequently amplified by corporate technology. When you search for a product or discuss a brand near a connected device, tracking cookies and advertising platforms immediately push targeted advertisements across your social feeds, streaming apps, and search results. In these moments, the illusion shifts from a purely internal cognitive bias into an engineered external reality. You may genuinely believe you are experiencing a spontaneous psychological coincidence, when in truth, machine learning algorithms are actively reinforcing your brain's natural bias by flooding your digital ecosystem with the exact items you just discovered. Today, the Baader-Meinhof phenomenon serves as a humbling reminder of the fundamental limits of human perception. We like to imagine that our eyes and ears function like objective video cameras, capturing the unfiltered reality of the world around us. But in truth, human consciousness is an active simulation assembled by our expectations, attention spans, and neurological filters. We do not perceive the world purely as it exists, we perceive the world through the narrow lens of what our brain decides is worth noticing. Recognizing the frequency illusion helps demystify superstitions, strange coincidences, and everyday cognitive biases. It shows us that apparent synchronicities are rarely cosmic messages or glitches in reality. Instead, they are the quiet, brilliant footprints of our own mind at work, striving tirelessly to transform the chaotic noise of daily life into meaningful order. Now that you understand the secrets of the Baader-Meinhof phenomenon, keep your eyes open, because you will almost certainly hear someone mention it within the next 24 hours. What is the strangest thing you have ever suddenly started seeing everywhere? Tell us your experience in the comments below. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into science and history.